Real reason why Yellowstone was canceled after just 5 seasons revealed. Yellowstone fans were left heartbroken when the hit series concluded after a mere 5 seasons. And now there are whispers that creator Taylor Sheridan had envisioned the show running for an additional 3 years. However, Kevin Costner's departure as the iconic John Dutton left the story incomplete, forcing fans to grapple with a 5th and final season sans his character. Bloomberg reports that Sheridan has acknowledged Yellowstone wrapped up roughly 3 seasons earlier than he had anticipated due to issues with Costner. The series was just finding its groove when Costner, age 70, bowed out, transforming from a shaky venture that few networks showed interest into a colossal $3 billion empire. Initially struggling to launch Yellowstone, indie filmmaker Sheridan, recognized for works like Sicario and Hell or High Water, faced rejection from HBO before Paramount took a chance on it when no one else would, reports the Express US. Viacom, the parent company of Paramount, declined to provide feedback or participate in standard pitch meetings. "I strongly considered walking away," Sheridan reflected last week. "It was a very, very difficult process." But then, under the leadership of Chris McCarthy, who became co-CEO of Paramount in 2019, the network's fortunes shifted, and they placed a bet on the show. Despite Yellowstone's impressive viewership of 6.3 million per episode in its second season, it was reportedly costing the company $50 million annually. During the merger of Viacom and CBS, executives were hesitant about the costs involved, but David Glasser and 101 Studios came through with essential funding, prompting McCarthy to spot a chance for growth. "Yellowstone is great, but where do we go from here? How do we grow? How do we expand the universe?" McCarthy pondered, as reported by Glasser. McCarthy then strategically shifted the show to a coveted Sunday time slot and initiated a marketing blitz aimed at football enthusiasts, catapulting Yellowstone to the top of the TV charts as the most-watched scripted series. Sheridan has since crafted additional successes like 1883, 1923, Tulsa King, and Mayor of Kingstown. With episodes costing up to $20 million each, Sheridan's productions have seen over $1 billion in investment. The Yellowstone franchise has raked in $2.9 billion in sales and $700 million in profits. Sheridan, alongside Glasser and McCarthy, is steering a fleet of new spinoffs, including Dutton Ranch featuring Kelly Riley and Cole Hauser, The Madison starring Michelle Pfeiffer, and another prequel, 1944. Plus, there's a Case Dutton-centric series slated for CBS come 2026. "He tells me when things need to air, and I deliver," Sheridan stated. "I can't imagine working on these shows with anyone else." For years, Yellowstone reigned as TV's modern Western juggernaut, blending cowboy grit with high-stakes family drama on the sprawling Dutton Ranch. But in a twist as wild as anything the show ever aired, Paramount shocked fans in 2023 by announcing the flagship series would end after just 5 seasons. Official statements blamed scheduling conflicts and spin-off expansions. But now, sources close to the production have revealed the real reason behind the abrupt end. And it's more explosive than a Dutton family feud. It wasn't just about Kevin Costner's alleged standoff with showrunner Taylor Sheridan. It wasn't about spin-offs or money. No, the real reason Yellowstone was canceled lies buried under the Montana soil, in a secret that began to unravel when art started to imitate life just a little too closely. Chapter 1. The Ranch That Talked Back. Most fans know that Yellowstone is filmed on Chief Joseph Ranch, a real working property in Darby, Montana. But what few realized is that the ranch had become more than a backdrop. It had become a character. Not in the traditional sense, of course. We're talking about a literal voice. According to insiders, strange things began happening during filming of Season 5. Scenes shot at the barn would mysteriously be corrupted. Horses not scheduled for a scene would wander in, as if drawn by something. The bunkhouse door slammed shut on its own more than once, locking actors inside for hours. It started as a joke, said a crew member who requested anonymity. We said the ranch was haunted. But then one night, one of the producers swore they heard the land whisper, "No more lies." He quit the next day. Initially dismissed as stress-induced paranoia, things escalated when cast and crew began having identical dreams. A cowboy in 1800s garb riding through flames, pointing at the Yellowstone script and shouting, "This ain't how it happened." Chapter 2. Kevin Costner's Secret Archive. Enter Kevin Costner, star, executive producer, and apparent keeper of a deeper truth. According to a member of the writing staff, Costner began bringing an old leather-bound notebook to set around mid-season 4. It looked ancient, like it belonged in a museum, the source said. Kevin would sit in his trailer flipping through it, muttering to himself. Eventually, curiosity got the better of a few crew members who sneaked a peek. What they found shocked them. Handwritten accounts of real events that seemed to mirror Yellowstone's plotlines, years before the show was written. Land disputes, betrayals, even the infamous train station, all chronicled in the mysterious notebook, dated between 1883 and 1912. How did Costner get his hands on this journal? Some say he found it while researching Dances with Wolves decades ago. Others claim it was given to him by a descendant of a real Dutton. Either way, it became clear Yellowstone wasn't fiction. It was prophecy, or worse, reenactment. Chapter 3. Taylor Sheridan's Panic. By early 2023, showrunner Taylor Sheridan was reportedly having panic attacks. Sources say he confided in close friends that he believed the show was summoning something. He told me he heard John Dutton's voice in his sleep, said a former PA. But not Kevin's, the real John Dutton. He said, "Tell my story right, or the land will swallow you." Sheridan, never one to back down from a creative challenge, initially tried to write through it. But each draft of the season 5 finale came back, altered. Pages printed fine in the writer's room, but when brought to set, they would rearrange themselves. One script had every character killed off except Rip. Another had Beth fleeing into the woods, barefoot and pregnant, chased by wolves. Desperate, Sheridan turned to the Paramount brass and gave them an ultimatum: cancel the show, or risk waking up something older than television. They didn't ask questions. Chapter 4. The Final Straw. The final nail in the coffin came when a historian from the University of Montana came forward. She had been researching frontier families for a lecture series and stumbled upon a long-forgotten Dutton family ledger. In it, a passage warned, "If ever the bloodline is filmed, if ever the stories are told with dishonor, the earth shall reclaim its memory." She mailed the journal to the studio, anonymously, along with one chilling message: "You've already gone too far." Shortly after, production was halted. Chapter 5. The Truth Leaks Out. Though Paramount spun a PR-friendly narrative, citing Costner's schedule, creative differences, and expanding spin-offs like 1923 and 6666, the truth trickled out in cryptic comments. At a panel, Kelly Riley, Beth, quipped, "Sometimes it felt like the land was directing us." Cole Hauser, Rip, told a podcast, "There were days where it didn't feel like acting, more like possession." Even Costner, notoriously tight-lipped, dropped a cryptic line at a press event. "Some stories aren't meant to be told. Some are meant to be lived, once." Chapter 6. Life After Yellowstone. Now Sheridan has shifted his focus to spin-offs, supposedly safer stories that tread carefully around the Dutton mythos. But fans have noticed something odd. While 1923 and 1883 dive deep into family lore, they never quite touch the events hinted at in Yellowstone. Almost like they're circling something, afraid to strike it directly. As for Costner, he's gone off-grid, reportedly building his own ranch in Utah, well away from Darby. Some say he keeps the notebook locked in a safe. Others claim he burned it. No one knows for sure. And the ranch? Well, Chief Joseph Ranch remains open to tourists. But since the cancellation, guests report strange sightings. A shadowy figure on horseback near the tree line. Unexplained hoofprints. And always the same whispered phrase carried by the wind. Finish the story. So why was Yellowstone really canceled? Not because of ratings. Not because of egos. But because sometimes fiction cuts too close to truth. And when that truth belongs to the land, to ghosts and legends and old blood, the land bites back. And maybe, just maybe, the Duttons were never just characters. They were warnings.